hope it's gonna work, because last time I had to launch almost the three times to get the live, and I was unable to save the video.
What does it say? We're telling your...
Yeah, they are. Hello, everybody. I am with Aura. I'm not at home. I'm far away, and I came for a special time here, and I am with my friend Aura, that you know because you saw some video already, and voila.
Voila, here we are.
Yeah.
You're in LA.
How many weeks have you not seen us?
In a long time. I think the last time you were here, well, let's see, you came for December, right? You came for the Bobby event in December.
Yeah.
So when we had the Bobby event with Ed Dowd.
And I did not come since?
December? When were we at the beach?
True.
When were we at the beach?
I think it was before December.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Since December?
Yes.
I cannot believe it.
That's how long. And now we're back together. Here we are. You're here for another Bobby.
Yeah, because you were organizing a woman meeting, and I was unable to attend.
I know. I would love for you to be here.
Yeah.
Or for us to be there in the desert, the beautiful desert where you are. No, we haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah.
But we've talked a lot about the state of the world. We've done a lot of talking about the state of the world, right?
Yeah, and in fact, we are at the point that there is no more thing to say.
That's it, we're done.
We've done. Yeah, because everything has been said since 3 years, and it's like the feeling to repeat always the same thing, and I get bored about that.
But don't you think, though, you said, what did you say yesterday? I said yesterday, today feels very strange.
Oh, yesterday was very special day. Yeah. This is a thing. In fact, I wanted to speak a little bit. I spoke a little bit last day in my video about that, about the trouble that we have in all what is electronic, electromagnetic, and as we are electric beings, we are affected as well. I have a lot of my followers who are telling me that they are affected in their body. But sometimes they don't feel connected, or they feel fuzzy, or I don't know how you say that, like fog in the head.
Fuzzy,
Like you were yesterday. This was amazing for you yesterday. What happened?
Well, first of all, there was a lot of technical difficulties. Now, you and I have talked about the technical difficulties with computers, with banks.
Oh, again today, I cannot believe it.
Yesterday at the airlines. They kept delaying flights.
And your son finally.
Yes.
When did he left?
Today, but yesterday the airlines were down. It was known. I went into Whole Foods. Their markets. Their computers were down. So you were saying, well, we're electrical beings, and all of this electric magnetic energy, 5Gs. People are talking about their phones are acting weird.
Yeah.
I know somebody who fell for some scam, and it was as if he went into some kind of a trance. I mean, how do we read into these things? That electromagnetically, or messages, or things aren't functioning.
So this is what I was telling you yesterday. If we have to go beyond the fact that it's cyber attack organized. What I have the feeling is that, and what I know is that solar flares are very strong. Solar flares are affecting the electromagnetic field and us. But I have the feeling that this normal phenomenon gonna be taken to, in a way, bring something else, like cyber attacks, like saying they're going to use this. When I say they,
we always say they. Who are they? Who are they behind the scenes?
Yeah. They're going to use this pretext as a pretext to bring something and to bring more control. This is quite evident. But this is a natural phenomenon. But the one who are organizing all these parallel, New World Order and all these things, they know about these scientific astrophysics phenomenon. They know very well, and they use them for install their agenda, we can say. Because they can say, yeah, we have that cyber attack, we have to control more of these things and install more control, and all this goes in the same direction. So we have to be aware of that. We have to be aware that there is a natural phenomenon, and that this natural phenomenon, some entities, I would say, will maybe use them to make believe something else and to control more and more and more. So it's like, it's really complex.
Yeah.
Me, I see this like that. It's schematizing what I feel about that, what I see about the connection in between that. But what makes me say this is that 35 years ago, I had my friend astrologer who was an engineer. So he was not just an astrologer, he was an engineer. So very scientific and very Cartesian, I would say. He was building a huge bridge, water bridge, and this kind of thing in places like Tibet or Himalaya, all that. And I worked almost 30 years with him in astrology, and he was telling me at that time, so long time ago, they will come with something about the climate, and they're going to use this to make money.
Yeah. Yes.
So I always remember that, because he said this is going to be a pretext for some entities to make money. And at that time, he was not speaking about control, but one thing engage another. One thing create, it's at cause of what is going on with the control. So it's all part of that. But the thing is, we have to take distance about that. We don't have to be scared about that. Because at one level, and this can seem crazy, at the unconscious level, at the invisible level, at the higher part of the collective, ourselves, we create this situation to evolve spiritually,
right.
To use more and more our brain, mindset, to change the mindset. Yesterday I had a very nice meeting with one of my followers, and she was conditioned in a certain way, and she said, I look at you because I'm not used to think like you think, and I'm curious to know how you do that, because it seems that your way to think make you more at peace. So, and I was very interested, because it's a person who worked all her life in an office, 9 to 5. So she was really aware about her conditionment from her job, from every day going to the same office, time to time, 9 to 5, doing always the same task. She was totally aware of that, and she wanted to be free of that. It was very interesting.
But she reached out to you, obviously, because you represented something in her that she knows she's not free, but she wants to be free.
Yes.
Don't you think a lot of people are really feeling that right now? They really sense that they want to be free, and some people don't know how to do it. And I think that's the way
it's very interesting,
connecting.
Because she's totally opposite of what I'm doing. It's a person who works in an office. I never worked in an office. But when she saw me, it's always by phenomenon of resonance. It's not by the word or by the story that is told. She felt, seeing me, hearing me, in my voice, that it was something that was at peace, and she was wondering how to be like that, because I'm not faking it. It's who I am. But it did not come also by itself like that. It's also years of using my mind and seeing my own pattern that can bring me down, and deciding by observing myself often by the projection I could do in the past, judging others, seeing the bad things in others, I was doing that, and I realized at one point, especially when I started the Jungian psychoanalysis, I realized the phenomenon of projection. And when I realized that, this changed my life. And I was telling her about that.
Go ahead.
There is someone.
Yes, go ahead. Keep talking.
And I was telling her about this phenomenon of projection. And for her, she said, wow, I never thought about that like that. And now I'm going to put my attention on that. When I am judging or when I am looking someone or something and I have this kind of shadow judgment, I'm going to observe that. And I'm going to see in how this shows me something of myself, my own shadow that I cannot see because it's difficult to see from ourselves. It's easier to see something when we project on someone else outside of ourselves or something else. So yesterday was very, very interesting to me because I was not imagining that the fact to witness about or to speak about what I'm speaking, sometimes some people can think it's crazy or it's nonsense, but it's just what sounds right to me, could affect someone to the point that she realized her pattern and decided at more than 50 to change that. Because she wants to feel the peace I feel, I emanate. She said, I want this. I want to, not to be like me. No, she didn't want. She started some years ago by looking for white hair. She was dyeing her hair. And it's like that she discovered me many years ago on Facebook. And finally she followed me. And finally she listened to the video. And finally now she has a crown of white hair. And it's beautiful. She had like a crown because it's all in front. And it was like, and she said, I'm so happy now. It was difficult at the beginning, but now I'm transitioning. And she said, how did you transition? I said, I never transitioned because I never died. So she said, I cannot believe it. Wow, this is fantastic. So it was really like, so you see, it's like a tiny thing, like something that can seem superficial, hair color, that brought her to wonder how it could be, how to go from color hair to natural hair. She went online, she was curious, and I told her curiosity is very, very important. And she said, yeah, I see, I was curious, I found you, and after I follow you, and after I felt it was more than just hair, it was something that I wanted, a state that I wanted to reach. And she contacted me for one of my bracelets, actually. And she said, when I saw that, I'm not someone who is in trendy thing, but I felt that I needed to have this for my 50th birthday. And she made her this gift. But I told her with the discussion we had for like 2 hours discussion yesterday. And I said, you see, it's beyond the product. This is what attracted you to be in touch with me, to buy it. But in fact, concourse of circumstances with the glitch in the bank and all that was making her difficult to pay. And like that, as I knew I was coming in the area to be with Aura, I said, I'm coming, I can pass by your place. And it was very interesting because when I was proposing this, I was feeling her fear. And I had a silent dialogue between me and her higher self. And I was like feeling maybe she will not be comfortable to have a foreign person in her home. And in fact, she told me, she said, I never got a foreign person in my home. I said, I know, I felt it. When I proposed it to you, I felt it. And in a way, I sent the message with my email, be comfortable. If you don't like it, no problem. But this was not said. This was like the intention. And she perceived that. And for her, she said, wow, this is a big thing for me. I never met someone from Instagram. I never had someone at home. I never brought such a beautiful handmade piece. She said, the first time I have an handmade object, something handmade. I never had something handmade.
Wow.
So for her, I felt it was really a big step. And she's gonna be retired in some years, and she was wondering, oh, it's scary I don't know what I'm gonna do. I said, no, don't say it's scary. Just say, change that by it's exciting. I'm curious. Everything is possible. And she said, oh yeah, sure, I can do that. So this was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really, very interesting how we trust our instincts. This woman had an instinct about you. And even if you can't articulate it, even if you don't know why you're drawn to something, that feeling, that intuition that we have, that instinct that we have, we need to trust that about everything.
Yeah.
Do you know, sometimes people are afraid to listen to that inner voice. I feel it's like the inner barometer, and that led her to you. And by her trusting it to lead it to you, she discovered so much more about herself. And I want to say, this is the very thing that we want to look at, because we don't want to be led by fear. Do you know?
Yeah, because every time you do a step in an unknown territory, you realize that you have not lost anything.
Right.
But you realize something else. You feel more confident and you get more inner power. And this grows. And this, for the next step, unknown in the unknown, going to make you, instead of fearing, more excited. I'm facing a situation I never lived before. Wow, how is going to be? What I'm going to discover there? And this goes like growing and growing and growing, and your inner trust and your inner confidence is growing, and you feel stronger, and by that you feel more and more assured, more in your body, more in your womb.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not floating there. It's become concrete in the material dimension.
Yasmina, I love this story because I feel right now that the times that we're in, that we have this opportunity to really go beyond our fears. This time for me represents that.
Yeah.
This beautiful story with a complete stranger, it really tells me that people are wanting, and I don't know who's listening to us today, but I feel that there are a lot of things that people are feeling right now, and they might not even know what it is that they're feeling, but that there's something that they're feeling within themselves. And I want to say, trust what you're feeling and go with it and see where it takes you. You're describing this beautiful story where you met this person because she reached out to you and it brought something into her life. And I really want to reach people so much to just say, do not allow yourself to be led by fear. Fear is an illusion.
Yeah, but it's not easy when you had big condition, when you, regarding your cultural, background and family background, and I understand. And it was really interesting because with the exchange we had, I was feeling a resistance and her fears.
While you were with her, or before you got there? No,
before, when we got the exchange of email.
Yes.
Because we've been back and forth for payment, for this, and finally trouble with the bank, and me, I was observing, say, okay, this is quite interesting, because she was saying, it's too much for me, all this thing, and I'm sorry, I take your time with all this trouble, but I say, no, you don't take my time at all. It just showing me that we have to do this in another way. And there is another way possible because I'm coming in the area. Even if it's 1 hour away, it's nothing here in LA. You drive half an hour, 1 hour, and what's the point? And we had a really great time. And it was very, for me, it was, how I could say, I learned a lot by the meeting with this woman. I learned a lot.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I learned a lot
Sorry to bother you.
about the fact that what you give for people to listen, what you give of yourself, you just do it. Like said Aura, follow your feeling. If you feel to witness about something, if you feel to share something, do it, because you never know how this is going to affect people around you, people who listen to that. Because your frequency, your vibration, it's not only the word you're going to say, it's the intention that is back of the word, it's your truth. It's how you, it's more than the word, it's how you gonna pronounce them, how they have meaning to you, and how it's really deep. And this gonna resonate in people and can feed them at one level that you don't know. And you don't have to know. You just do what you feel. And it's always amazing how this can make a difference in the life of someone. And this is the beauty of the era we are, of the technology we are. We created that to have this kind of exchange that can seem virtual, but they are not. Because for me, this is it's like showing the invisible side of who we are. We are more than this physical appearance, and we are not aware of that. I'm a little bit aware of that, so I'm like speaking with my higher self and being in touch with that, and it's like I am in a kind of, if we can say, fantasy world, because I'm in touch with that dimension since a very long time that make people around me thinking, oh, she's crazy, she's not in the real world. But in fact, it's that this technology we created, it's like manifesting the invisible side of us, because in a way we communicate by something invisible. We are visible, but it's like virtual. But the connection, even if it's by cable and all these waves and things, it's also like we communicate by waves. We communicate by frequency, by resonance. And we create a technology that is like manifesting in the physical world this thing from the invisible. And this to be able to share more and more in between us. And by the phenomenon of resonance to go and affect people around us. And came to me a beautiful image, and it's funny, I'm wearing blue like today. Yesterday I was driving, and when I drive like these hours, it's like meditative, and I have a lot of things coming. And I say, how I can explain the phenomenon of frequency and resonance? And came to me like, this blue liquid. And you have one drop that is blue, and you have a big basin of clear water. And one drop of the blue that has a certain frequency and certain consciousness going to fall in that water and going to be diluted. But all the water are going to have a little hint of blue, a little tint of blue. So let's say that this blue drop is like consciousness, have a more open consciousness. By going in that field of water that is more transparent, this water are going to slowly be tinted by that blue. And all these drops of blue that started to be tainted, they're going to open their consciousness at their turn. And after, they're going to spread again that.
Oh, I love that image.
And it was so strong. It's even difficult to put words, but it was like, wow, it's that. We are like drops, and we are made of water. Our consciousness go in resonance with others, and by being on our truth, it's going to resonate with the truths in the others. And more we are like that, more as a collective, it's going to be truth. Because we are in a time, and it's for that it's very challenging, we are in a time where everything that is not aligned, true, right, necessary to us for our evolution is to go away. Relationships,
everything is
business.
Changing. Yes, everything. When you talk about that beautiful image, Yasmina, about the water, the word that comes up for me is reverberate.
Yeah, it's that.
So frequency reverberates out into the universe.
Yeah.
And the vision that you had of the blue water I was seeing it like literally reverberate out into the water wider and wider and wider. And that's what our energy and frequency does. And especially now, right now, when we are really at a much higher frequency.
Yeah, so
don't you think it's even expanding wider
into
the universe?
And the fascinating things to me, I observe that, and this is my way to see that. So some people may not be okay with that. The trouble we have, for me, there are challenges. As the unconscious collective, we create this situation. We can say, I don't know, New World Order, political thing, and sides, and all these things that we know about, and big pharma, and bio weapon, and all this. We create that, but we create that to stimulate our spiritual evolution, to make us searching, be curious, discovering, taking care of us differently, really go into the essential, really feel what is really important to us. And this is the time, it's really the time for that.
Yes.
So it's fascinating.
It's a fascinating time. We always talk about, Yasmin and I share a lot of wonderful things and information. She's in the desert, I'm here, but I always feel so connected to the way in which we're messaging each other, which at this point feels almost, how do I say this? It's as if we are on the same frequency. So then our communication, see who you're on the same frequency with and how you're communicating with them and how you're able to understand what's going on at this moment in time in our evolution. It's fascinating. And we'll share things that can be, you said earlier, oh, this can sound crazy to somebody. This might sound crazy. I don't even think any of it at all is crazy because of all of the things that we're seeing, all of the veils that are being lifted, all of the truth that is being shown to us. So it's not crazy. It's just part of the evolution that is happening. And sometimes you and I will say, oh my God, what a time that we're in. This is unbelievable.
Also, like we were saying yesterday, we really had the feeling, and it's not, it's not pretentious. We had the feeling that, like I was 35 years ago, I had the feeling, but it's better for me now. Because now I'm the right time at the right place. But 35 years ago, when I was speaking about things like that, nobody was understanding me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was alone with my thing, my thought and my vision. And I could not share with anyone because only my osteopath was understanding totally. And I was like, wow. So people around me were looking at me like, she's perch, like perché means in French, like you are high up there, like totally.
She's out there.
Yeah.
But where is out there? Out there is in the real, right?
Yes, it's all this invisible field, and now it's a good feeling to be exactly where. It's great. I really have the feeling now I am at my place at the right time, since it's accelerated since 3 last years.
Right, now it's all coming together, don't you think? It's all really like, there's that beautiful culmination. It's like the crescendo.
I realized that with all that what is going on, finally, I was a conspiracy theorist since 40 years.
Now it's very in vogue. It's very...
Now I'm like, oh, yeah.
It's in vogue to be a conspiracy theorist, you know?
Exactly.
Don't poo-poo it because it's actually very in vogue right now.
No, it's really, really interesting. So it's that I wanted really to put the emphasis on that. Don't be scared about the event around you, but take some distance and observe how this is going to stimulate, going to be at cause of something else, going to stimulate your imagination, your creativity, your frustration. Say, no, I don't want that. And by the fact to just acknowledge that you don't want that, you already create something against that thing and make it less effective. The problem is when we are in denial, when we reject, we don't want to see, we keep this thing alive until it's noticed.
Yes.
It's the same phenomenon as the unconscious.
Absolutely. The more you push something away, the more it'll keep coming to you.
Yeah.
Because there's something you need to see there.
Yeah. And so it's really an interesting time.
It is a fascinating time. It really is. I think that we are on the brink of something very magnificent. And if we just trust it, if we really trust this time, and don't be so quick. I just, to your listeners, Yasmina, because I'm here on your page, I want to say, don't be so quick to just judge. Don't be so quick to say things like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, or, oh, you must be a Trumper, oh, you must be on the left, oh, you must be this. Why do we need to even categorize
I'm
each
full
other?
of tag.
Yeah, full of tags.
But people glue on me.
Right. It's like, why not be free in your mind?
Yeah.
And be open to receiving information without just judging it all the time.
No, but I think this shows a limitation.
Small-minded.
But this, shows limitation of something that is in process of growing. Imagine you have a seed. Everything is contained in that seed. It's going to take time for that seed to explode and let the little thing growing.
Yes.
So it will be in its time. And all these tags and boxes, it's like the seed is still in her little world closed, Me, I always been against tag and appartenance to any group or anything. I can value some entities or humans who had values similar to what is dear to me, but these are values that are dear to, I think, sane human being, about freedom, peace, well-being, respect, taking care, especially of children and elderly. So I think this is basic.
And what's threatening about that? Like, I know you've shared with me, and of course, if you have a big following, which you do, you're going to have people, oh no, talk more about this and don't talk about this. Mm-hmm. Oh, we want you to talk about things that are, just make me feel good, but don't talk about these things. It's all necessary.
It is.
It's all necessary to know. Do you know?
My experience of life shows me, and this is really, really showed me, it's very more and more like evident that all the challenges I had, every time it was to stimulate my spiritual growth. Mm-hmm. Every time. Mm-hmm. But it's be physical in my body. Often it was because my body was processing too much information that I accumulate with workshops and books and things, and after you are like, and your DNA, your way to think change, so your DNA is changing, but in the body it's slower. The material, the physical matter, it's more dense. So even if you have something that change in your mind, it may take time in the body to be integrated, to change the DNA, because every time we change our mindset, we change the whole system, the physical as well. And sometimes it can be painful.
Yes.
Because it's like, imagine you are like, sometimes it's so strong and the inside are so strong that it's burning like fire inside, literally burning. I had that several times when I had very strong inside, that suddenly I realized something. It's like a fire inside and it's burning like the old self, the old cell. And it's like immediate. In this time it's immediate, but it's very strong. And sometimes the process is slower, and you can have pain, and you don't have desire to get out of bed, and you feel tired, or your head gonna explode, and you don't want to eat, or you want to eat, I don't know, sugar suddenly when you are not a sugar eater, and everything is like changing. So it's be aware of these things without saying, oh, something is wrong, I have to go to the doctor, I have to do that, I'm sick, or I have that. And it needs time, and we are worked, we are in perpetual mutation. Perpetual mutation. As human being, as human race. And this is very hard in the body. It's very difficult. And it goes together with our way of thinking. And our way of thinking is stimulated by the event that unconsciously at the collective level we create for us to be able to see things differently, desire other things, create another world. Yesterday I had another insight in the car. I was like, wow, we created this messy world. It's great. We can create another one because we created this one.
And we are creating another world right now.
Yeah.
That's why when I hear something like the New World Order, I laugh. I just laugh. I think, who's saying the New World Order?
Yeah.
It's like we're creating our new world. We don't need, these people to tell us what they think the New World Order is. Now I laugh. When I first heard it, I thought, oh, these people, they're trying to usher in this New World Order. And these politicians are saying it, and these people in powerful, so-called powerful positions of authority are saying, New World Order. And I'm like, no, we're creating our world. We are the manifestors. We're the co-creators.
Yeah, because we have our own order.
Yeah.
We are all different.
Yeah.
Sure, there are basic rules that almost all the religions are going on the same thing, to respect others, to love and all that. Sure, they are. But cycles, we have cycles as humans. We know this as women because we have
cycles.
Yes, a lot
connected
of cycles.
To the moon.
Yeah. But after each of us we have our own way to evolve in our life. We have our own experience to live, and nobody can lead them for us. And we cannot say to someone, you have to do that.
No.
Nobody can order us to do that or that.
Oh, that word. Oh.
It's terrible.
It's a terrible word. It's really horrible. And also something else we talked a little bit about yesterday is, and something I think for all of us to think about is, when we have that void, like let's say what we talked about, when you suddenly don't have the same job, you're in transition, suddenly you're thinking about money, you're thinking about a job, you're thinking about some changes that you're going through.
Very strong changes that can be really stressful.
And people immediately go into fear because change is frightening. It's like something is unfamiliar. And I feel lately, like, how do we just alchemize that? Like, suddenly feel as if, okay, this change has just happened. It's very unfamiliar. How can I just free fall into this change without going into fear?
I think
the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, but I think one thing to do, very simple. It's maybe said to yourself in the mirror, yes, I'm afraid. Yes, I'm afraid of the unknown. That's it. When you acknowledge that, you will see it's lighter. Mm-hmm. It's you with yourself. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes we can feel something and stay at that level. But if you bring consciousness in that and acknowledge that, this thing has less power, if I can say.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah, exactly.
So
I agree with you. It's important to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And say, oh, what am I feeling right now? Oh, I'm feeling fear because something has changed.
Like sadness when you lose someone
Absolutely.
dear and you are very sad.
Yes.
You have to go. You have to cry. You have to acknowledge your sadness.
Yes.
You can even share your sadness. It will be helpful with the right people to share it. And this can be... Some people want to say very private about that, but if you have people with a big heart beside you, you can open your heart and share your sadness.
Beautiful.
And cry. I did with my friends sometimes, and when I had something strong, like when I came back from this trip, it was very, very hard emotionally, and I cried.
We talked about it. You helped me. After I wrote my book, I was feeling very emotional.
You were really down.
We're going to have to feel those things, and you're so right. Share it, and look at it from all angles. Oh, I'm feeling this. This is not going to be permanent, but I'm feeling it now, and I have to surrender to what I'm feeling. You did, I did. And look, we moved through it, like we birthed ourselves through it.
Yeah, because it's magical. When I was feeling bad, like when you were feeling bad, you share with me what was going on.
Yeah.
Me came to my mind, oh, you can do that. you can have a bioenergetic session.
Which
you
was
didn't know what it was.
No, and it was so helpful. Okay. You really
and finally great. I was there when you had the session and all that, so we've been through all this together. Me, when I was feeling bad, when I came back, sure, I have this contact with my friend Bernard, bioenergetician, so I contacted him. I didn't know when I contacted him that I would cry so much. I don't know how you say in English, I told what was intimate to me, to him.
Intimate. You shared a lot of your inner feelings that are very close and intimate to yourself. Yes.
And we say confident,
confidentially.
Yeah, confidentially,
Yes.
And when I was doing that, I didn't know I will cry so much. And he received this. He stayed there from me at distance because he's in France. And you have no idea how I was appreciative and feeling good that someone, when I was so down, could be there for me. And I felt he was there with his heart for me. Just by being there, no say one word, nothing, just witnessing me in my sadness, in my cry, in my sorrow, in everything that was there, and just be there. Nothing to do. And this was really, it has been really helpful.
Yeah, I because you introduced me to Bernard, and that's so beautiful. And I really don't think that we're alone, because when we suffer alone, we feel very alone. But we really don't need to be that way. We can share the intimacy, as you said, the intimacy, the inner stirrings of our heart.
Yeah.
Do you know? It's so important, especially now when there's so much going on the planet. There is so much going on. People are feeling things. I walked into a store recently and a woman said to me, we started talking and she asked me about my book and we started talking about things. She said, I know a lot of people right now that they're depressed. They're going through something. And I think a lot of people are going through something right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But share what you're going through. Don't be afraid to share. It's like what you said with Bernard. He was there and he listened. I shared what I was going through with you. I remember when you just got back from your trip. And you know what? We learned so much from it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's good, because when you have someone neutral like that, but with an open heart, you are not judged, so it doesn't resonate in judging yourself as well. So it's very freeing and nourishing.
Yes.
It's love, pure love. And it's love without any expectation. It's just someone that is there with his heart open, just to receive what is dear to you, because it's dear to you. Your sadness or your sorrow is dear to you.
Right, and unconditional.
Yes, it's that.
We can share without feeling that someone wants or expects something from us. It's unconditional.
And this is something I want also to thank you, who's the one who are contacting me with your personal experiences. Often you don't know what to do, you are really intimate with me, and you don't know me, and this is really beautiful. Moving me, because it's like, wow, this person is trusting me to tell me her intimate story, and humble enough to ask me, what do you think I could do? And often I say, I don't know, you have to live the experience, go with it. And because I'm not at the place of the person.
Right.
And I can give suggestion, I would do that or that or that, but I don't know. I don't know the circumstances, I don't know really how deep this is, I don't know what are the implications, what are the patterns. Just go with it. Don't avoid it, because more you avoid, stronger it will be painful, stronger.
Yes.
So just go with and go through, and you can be surprised that finally it was not so bad. It's more the idea we have.
Yes.
When we go, we jump in it. With it.
Sometimes the feeling weighs heavy on our hearts.
The apprehension.
Yes, and we can feel a heaviness on our hearts.
Yeah.
And we can also sometimes feel not only what we're feeling individually, but we're feeling collectively, because we're a collective on this
as
earth.
a field, invisible,
yes.
We are all connected.
We can say, wow, someone said to me earlier today, she felt very pulled down yesterday. It felt very heavy for her. We're picking up on things.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this body. We're feeling things. We're sensing things. We might not even know exactly why we're feeling heavy one day.
Mm-hmm.
But when we stay with it, I feel like it always takes you somewhere where you need to be. It will always give you more information. It will always give you more wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? And don't be afraid to feel those feelings.
Yeah, it's very important, because feelings are directly connected to the soul.
Yeah.
So these are the doors, access to the soul.
Yes.
So it's very, all the emotions and all that. So it's really like, take these like a tool of investigation.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm feeling, what can I see from that? What I can discover from this thing? Why do I feel that?
Yeah.
Why? And you will be surprised, because by just putting that like that, suddenly something, by an article you read, a book that is coming, someone that you meet, that tell you have the answer of what was going on. And it's because in the field we are all connected.
Yes.
So
it's an amazing time.
Yeah.
It's an amazing time right now. Yasmin and I have had so many profound conversations about what's going on in the world today. And my hope is that just more and more people wake up and want to know more.
Yeah, because also we are speaking about the political side of things.
Yeah.
And we were feeling the same thing. All this is obsolete.
Yeah.
This political game, it's obsolete.
It's we've been deliberately polarized.
Yeah.
We're polarized through something that they called a pandemic. I like Mickey Willis, the filmmaker, who just did the third installation of the Plandemic series, The Great Awakening, that I'm going to call it a plandemic. So we felt very polarized. Then we get polarized politically. Then we get polarized if you're vaxxed or you're not vaxxed. Are you right? Are you left?
Yeah.
We have to stop this game.
But also we were saying about that. We were speaking with even your husband yesterday. No matter, we are all part of the system.
Yes, we are.
Even if we are not for this, not for this.
System or matrix.
Yeah, we are part of it. And you see, tomorrow you organize this event for Robert Kennedy.
Yes.
And so we don't want to be in politics.
Kennedy 24.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yes.
Just saying.
But we are against all this political thing. But
look at how they try to turn us against one politician against the other. They insist that Bobby's an anti-vaxxer. Please, everybody, watch the interview on Joe Rogan. If you have any doubts about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., please do yourself a favor and watch the interview on Joe Rogan, and he will answer your question brilliantly.
Yeah.
Do you know? I mean, it's enough of this. You're this, you're that, he's this, she's this. This must mean that, this must mean that. Open up your minds. Be more expansive.
It's for that. For me, I don't see...
Oh, such an old game.
It's like, it's old. It's obsolete.
It's obsolete. I love that word,
Yeah.
Yasmina. It's obsolete.
Because for me, what I imagine, what I envision, and maybe I'm totally... I imagine that there is no more president. There is no more. There is no next president of the country or for the countries. It's like people who come as a community together and with the same deep value of protecting life, people, is what we were saying about technology.
Somebody called just at this time.
Yeah. So I dream more about strong people, really people with integrity and nobleness, who has a beautiful heart coming together and organizing society, not one president that is general-in-chief of everything, and that is manipulated anyway by all what is around. So it's like totally maybe utopic. We say utopic?
Utopic?
Yeah.
You like utopia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's my way to see it. For me, there is no other possibility. I think to have again one president, it will not change anything.
I don't know. Somebody asked me the other day, they used the word savior. I said, nobody's a savior.
No.
What do you think somebody's
Only
gonna
you
save?
can save yourself.
Yeah, they literally asked me, like, yes, we'd love somebody who's a good guide, somebody who's a truth sayer, somebody who might be in a position of leading. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with
Yeah,
that.
but
nobody's going to save us.
No.
We have to save ourselves. And we should trust somebody at least who's sane enough to, if they're going to be in a position of leadership, let them be somebody who's worthy of that role, to be in a role of leadership. I happen to think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is somebody who's very capable of running this country, but I don't think anybody is a savior. I don't.
No. It's all what I said at the beginning. More we change ourselves, more at the collective level it will change.
Yes.
If we save ourselves, if we take care of ourselves, the collective will be different. We relate differently.
Yeah.
And as I said all the time, maybe it's abstract for some people to schematize that in the universe there are antagonist forces. There are the forces of creation and the forces of destruction. And they play together.
Yeah.
One exists because the other one exists. And through us, they play, they act, all these things. Now, if we act differently, we have another mindset, these forces gonna act also differently in between them.
Yeah.
So there is no one insignificant. There is no one that is tiny. We are tiny drops in the universe, yes, but we are all important, and all important in our differences.
Yes.
We cannot be all the same, and it's because we are not all the same that we can have a very important part in this whole big world that is coming. And me, I see this positively, even if it's not easy sometimes.
No, we have our moments.
Oh my goodness.
We're human, and I love that quote. He's French. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. How do you say it?
Pierre Teilhard de Chardin.
Yeah, beautiful. You got to say it by a French woman.
Pierre
with
Teilhard
her beautiful
de Chardin.
voice and accent. We are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yeah, it's that. It's just simply that. So, voila.
Voila.
We really don't know what we are going to speak about.
No, very spontaneous. Completely spontaneous today. I know we've almost gone an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad to spend this time with Yasmina. She's here, and we always talk about things, and that's what I think everybody can do, is have these conversations. The art of discourse is so beautiful. It's an art. It's an art to have a conversation. Let's listen to each other. Let's hear what each other has to say.
Yeah, be storytellers. This is lost, but this was really bringing, feeding people when it was storytelling,
Yeah, I love that.
Because, as I said before, beyond words that are said, it's the deep meaning. We reach the archetypes and the energy, very strong energy, and we can integrate that by listening, storytelling.
Yes.
And and because when you do that, you can be surprised when you tell your stories. It's not to be egoistic or to be me. It's not that. you put yourself, if I can say, I don't feel missionate, but at the service of the collective. We are all public utility. We all have something special that you can bring, offer to the world, that's going to resonate in some people and maybe give other option to people who are a little bit stuck somewhere. So it's an act of generosity, but not to say I'm generous. No. You just do what you feel. If you don't feel to do it, you don't do it. But when you feel to do it, I never think what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna about today maybe, or I'm gonna plan to. No, it's just spontaneous, and it comes, and you will be surprised because at the moment it flows through you. It's like maybe it doesn't seem clear. Sometimes I say, "Oh my goodness, what I'm saying is not clear. Maybe I don't understand." But I have to forget about that. Because I'm surprised when I have your comments and say, wow, this was so at the point. I'm exactly at that point right now. And I was like, okay, I thought a little bit confusing, but no, go with it. Don't judge yourself,
No, it's the flow of consciousness.
Yeah.
It just flows out of us.
Yeah.
And when we trust it, and we show up for it, it's so beautiful. It's like, to me, it's like a stream. And you use that image of water, which I always love. It's this stream, it's this constant stream, and we're traveling on it. Do you know? It's a beautiful journey.
And the voice, your voice is I was listening to this French doctor, an interview on Sud Radio for the French Who Knows with André Berkoff. I invite you. I posted yesterday or before yesterday about this interview. And it's a very interesting interview of this Dr. Abtol, I think. I forgot the name, but he wrote a book about the voice, and its name in French, the voice is Les voix de notre existence, the voices of our existence. And he explained very well the power of the voice and what the voice beyond the world, what it's about the vibration, how it goes in resonance with very, very deep, even sometimes memories, past memories, and can really bring something. It's for that, bring your voice. Because he was explaining that there are 8 billion of people in the world. There are no two that has the same voice. And everybody has a timbre, has a note specific. And this note is connected to the soul of the person and is vibrating at that specific way. And that note gonna affect this or this or this person around differently regarding their own frequency vibration.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to speak your voice.
And listen to your inner voice too.
Yeah.
The inner voice, and then let it be released from your lips.
Voilà. Okay.
All right.
So I think there are a lot of comments, and it's always difficult because the thing is we cannot record this comment. I don't understand why they have not done that.
You have to. It's so beautiful to see all of these.
And to answer to some questions
be
sometimes.
a part of the conversation, but we can't read it as we're having a conversation. Yeah. But you can always leave messages for Yasmina.
Yes. Oh yeah. Or for Aura as well.
And I'm a guest on her page, her live today.
So I hope I will be able to post it, because my last live that I did with Christian, we're gonna do it again in a couple of weeks. It was so interesting, and Instagram had a glitch and it was not possible to post. It started by difficulties to launch the live, and after impossible to share it. So we're gonna do it again. Voilà.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.